room area.
Hi, everyone.
This is my wife. This is my lady. Melissa's with us again today. She'll be moderating, and boy, I thought we would just do this live feed today because we have not had a chance to say hello in a few days. I've been busy over at the shop as usual. Never not much for quiet time over there. Yeah, we thought we'd take a minute to kind of check in with you guys and see how you're doing. For those of you that are watching this after the fact, hello to you too. You can't talk back right now, but you can leave comments later on. We see some people joining. So Lori's World is joining us. Jen, Arlene, Commonwealth Picker. Let's see, our friend Bill from Fort Saskatchewan. Bill comes in the store all the time. Gives us German baked goods.
All the goodies.
All the good stuff, yeah. Boy, so I guess the big things that are happening in the world right now, Texas, I think, might be colder than us. I think Texas was colder than us today, which is kind of weird.
That's not their big problem, though.
No, the problem is that it was colder than here. I believe it was colder than here today. And they're not really built for it. Like somebody was saying, their water softener and water lines are on the outside of the building, or they have water tanks in the attic and not in the basement, and so things are freezing. So if you are in Texas and you have power tonight and you're watching this program, hopefully you're staying warm, or popping out to your car and starting it and staying warm for a little bit.
Hopefully everybody's safe.
Yeah. You know, I guess the nice thing about being in our climate is that we're so used to, you can give us any temperature. It could be minus 100, and we would probably get through a day or two of that. Everything's all buried underground and in insulated walls, so we're prepared for the worst of the weather.
And there is no closing anything. That doesn't happen here.
Yeah.
You could go outside and have waist-deep snow that happened overnight, and you're expected to go to work. So I think that's a big thing, too, to mention, that there are a lot of people thinking that it's funny that, that all this, that... they had low temperatures and some snow and it shut a place down. But when you're not prepared for it, it's a horrible thing. Like there's people that are actually suffering. They have no power, no water. So it's easy to look at it as somebody that's used to having winter and nothing closes us down, but we're ready for it.
That's the equivalent of when Canadians go to Hawaii for like a week and then they come back and you see them at the airport and it's like minus 30 Celsius here, and they forget that it's that cold, and they're in shorts and like a Hawaiian shirt and the lei, and they're like, oh, I forgot how cold it was here. Like when you escape to paradise, you forget how cold it can be. The noise you're hearing in the background, Dave, Melissa is boiling water for her tea.
Can you hear that?
Yeah, he says it sounds like there's a fan in the background. That's water on the boil.
I forgot to get us a tea ready, so
yeah.
Now you guys are part of that experience.
So for all of you in the chilly southern parts of Texas, hopefully things warm up again for you soon. Things are warming up for us. In fact, it's going to be melting in a few days, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, me too.
And hopefully, on that note, I left a message at the shop, Sovereign Auto, that's been working on my Rolls Royce, to see if that thing's done. So I'll find out hopefully tomorrow and see if they got any progress. I've been making space in the garage, getting stuff out, and getting it ready for the car to come home, and I'll be able to do an update video hopefully before too long on that. So what have I been up to? As you guys probably know, we have a big sports card auction happening on Saturday. Thousands and thousands of cards going up at Castor. They still don't have the pictures up yet.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Thursday and the pictures are still not loaded. They said they'll be up tomorrow or maybe late tonight.
Well, I know how much
I sure hope so.
Yeah.
So Saturday is the big day for a bunch of sports cards going up. We do have some that we're selling at the shop, and some that we're going to be sending in for grading and all that. But there's a wide variety of sports and non-sports cards going up there. So lots to look at there if you're interested in that. And probably not a surprise. Actually, it might be a surprise. I'm going to tell you how this happened. I was at the shop the other day, and somebody said, do you have any camera lenses? And I remember Sean saying that he put some boxes of camera lenses and stuff. We have a little closed-in area of showcases, and there's this little fort. If I put a blanket on top of it, it would create a fort, and I could crawl in there and peek around with a flashlight. But I didn't build a fort out of it. Instead, Sean had put some stuff in the middle where the showcases are. I moved them out of the way because I sold them all to a friend of mine today. And what was underneath, when I moved the lenses out of the way, 2 more bins of jewelry from the house. So we're doing another auction, but this stuff is mostly like 80% of it's probably costume jewelry. There is some silver, there will be some gold pieces too, but we are just going to auction off the rest and be done with it. So yeah, at some point there'll be another our second final musician's house sale. Yeah, that's the thing. You forget how much stuff that you have in bins and how many thousands of pieces can fit inside of bins.
Yeah.
So there will be one final sale now that we found those extra bins of jewelry at the place. Yeah, it was crazy. They're pieces of costume jewelry. When I went there with Melissa, that first video, and we're digging around and we're dumping stuff in bins, those were the bins. Yeah. So yeah, and I'm pretty sure we looked all around the rest of the shop. I think that was it. So that stuff is going over the auction.
It adds up quick too. Like we had some in the store, and I said maybe we should put this through the auction as well and give everybody a chance to see if they want it or not. Otherwise, it just goes in our store. But yeah. I was surprised at how much we still had kind of hanging around.
Yeah. So funny story about that, and I'd mentioned it before with that whole house business that we were second in line to buy all the stuff from the house. And yeah, I was wondering, I thought, I wonder what the guy who had first dibs on thought about it. Apparently he wasn't. He was wishing that he would have purchased it. And I think regretting, but the people that sold us the stuff they said, you know what, you had a chance and the other guy got it, so good for him. And we're grateful that it ended up being us, but it couldn't have happened. It might almost didn't happen. So lucky for us that it did. Deadcar says, hi guys, love your show from Massachusetts. Well, thank you. Thanks for watching.
I think there's a big difference though too with us going through a place and the average person going through a place. Like I'm pretty sure that it would be very close to, like there's no way, there's so much stuff.
It would take a normal person a really long time to go through
probably
that stuff.
Over a year for sure.
Yeah, Sergeant Red says they're still finding stuff from their 80s toy house. You know, it's surprising when you go through a place, when you empty a big house like that, that there are things tucked around. Like I found boxes of stuff under the piano that, and I just took stuff out of the back of the car too.
Still finding stuff.
Oh, speaking of which, I'm going to share a little story with you about how my day went today. So this will be my mini story time for right now.
I'm going to go get some water put in.
She left me.
I'm listening.
Okay, she's going to go make a tea. So this is story time. Melissa knows this part anyway. So yesterday, had a really nice fellow come through whose family had started a comic book store in town. And he comes in the shop and we buy some coins and stuff off of him. Toya says, just want to say hi from Australia. Love your content. Thank you so much. So a fellow comes in. He says, hey, my dad had passed and there's an old pinball machine and an old Pepsi machine if you're interested in looking. So I said, sure, great. We set up a time to meet this morning, 9:30. I was there early. I'm usually early. That's why when I'm late somewhere, I get thrown off because I like to be early, sometimes awkwardly early. So I was awkwardly early this morning. I'm like, I texted him. I'm like, hopefully you're awake right now. And he was. So we looked at it. Oh, hey, I got ahead of myself in the story. He said, this is where I should have gone. He said, why don't you come over for 9:30? So I woke up this morning really early because I knew that if I was going to move a pinball machine and an old soda machine, I would probably need, hi Ryan, I see you there. If I was gonna move these two big objects, I would need my go-to vehicle. I was gonna need my company delivery vehicle. I was gonna need the ambulance. Ambulance hasn't been run since we did the musician's house clear out, and that was back end of December. So it's been sitting there a while. It was buried. So I get in this morning, 8 a.m. I get over to the store to get there bright and early. And first thing I do is I have to chisel ice off from around the door. It's frozen in. I get the door open, barely get inside the vehicle, and I get it to turn over, and it goes, you know, like a bloodhound that's kind of waking up or having a dream that it's chasing something. So it's doing that a few times anyway. So then it goes, and I get it to start. Moral of that story, it starts. I'm like, what a good car this is. It started. So then I brush off a foot of snow off of the whole thing and I scrape off ice all over it. Laura says, living vicariously through your treasure hunts. Thank you, Laura. So I chip off all the ice and everything and I get the heater on and I realize that the back of the ambulance is still full of stuff from the musician's house clear out. As I was saying, I had to empty that stuff out. So I go to the back door of the ambulance and I go to unlock it, and the lock is really sticky, but I get it undone. I push the button in, the door won't budge at all. It is frozen shut. So I crawl in through the side door, shimmy my way past all the stuff that's in there, kind of get myself positioned in a way where I can grab onto the side wall a little bit, and I start booting the back door. I get the handle so it's unlatched, and I kick, and I'm doing this. People in the neighborhood probably thought I was breaking in, or maybe I was a corpse trapped inside of my old hearse/ambulance that I was trying to get out. He's finally escaping. Mary says, I'm excited to get the 3 items I won at last weekend's auction. Well, I'm excited for you too, Mary, and thank you for bidding.
Oops, sorry.
So anyway, I'm in there. I go through this whole ordeal. And at this point, it's been probably about 20 minutes. The car is warmed up. I'm just about ready to go. Get the back door open. I get all the stuff out, empty it all out of the car. And I start to brush the snow off the passenger side of the vehicle. And I notice that I've got a flat tire. My passenger rear tire is on the rim. Like it's there. I can't even roll over to a shop. That was hopeless. Tow trucks have a huge wait time. So I ended up having to, after all that preparing and getting the ambulance ready to get it to go this morning, it's the first time that I haven't been able to use that car and I need to use it. And it wasn't the car's fault, it was the tire's fault. So I went to the guy's place in my FJ Cruiser, and lucky for me, it worked out pretty good because I was able to fit, like the pinball machine, the top of it, and some other parts in my vehicle. And he said, oh, don't worry about it. I'll bring it by with my cousin later on. And I got to the store, and it was probably 5 hours, and I hadn't heard anything. And I thought, well, I don't think they'd take my money and just sell me the top of a pinball machine. Plus, he's a guy that owns a store too, and so I didn't worry about it too much. And it's nearing the end of the day. At the same exact time, Adrian Cote says, all that frozen winter is why New England women moved to California in 1981. I don't blame you. So this is the thing. I'm waiting there, and I'm kind of worried because if you've seen me walking around my store, if you've seen what the inside of the store looks like, it's pretty full. Like there is stuff everywhere. And on top of that, it's full, and I managed to squish a grand piano in there. So it's extra full. It's like when if you ordered a sundae at a restaurant and then you go, well, there's no room for anything else. And they're like, but we can pile on whipped cream. And you're like, well, clearly that's way too much to fit in that bowl. And they're like, but wait, here's a cherry. Bing! That's what that grand piano is in my store. It's like the whipped cream and cherry on top. It shouldn't fit. It shouldn't be in there, but it's just that nice little extra touch until we get it put in its proper home. Paula says, hey, Alex and Melissa, loved your Hoarder House videos. Thank you very much, Paula. So anyway, at this point, my store is over full, like an ice cream sundae with whipped cream and a cherry on top. And I have to fit in a pinball machine and an old Pepsi soda machine. I have no room for it. So what do? I call up another antique dealer, who's my buddy Dwayne, who he doesn't have a store, but what he does is he has many booths at many. My friend Dwayne has many booths.
As soon as you said many booths,
many booths.
I knew.
At many antique malls, many. He's a man of much antique boothiness. Anyway, so I phone up my friend Dwayne, and my friend Dwayne is a guy who is he sells everything. Like you could be like, what do you got, Alex? There's a box of pots and pans. There's a monkey skull and a bunch of oil cans, and he'll be like, I'll take it all. That's exactly the guy. And I have not sold a monkey skull, by the way. That was just the first thing. I don't know why it came into my head, but that's what came into my head. But anyway, so random stuff is what I'm saying. He will take everything, and he is the perfect guy that I need for some of these things when I have these boxes of stuff. Because a lot of times what happens, people will bring boxes of things into the store. I only want 1 or 2 things out of the box, but I got to take the whole thing. And so I end up taking that stuff usually to auction or selling it off to people like my friend Dwayne. So anyway, Dwayne comes in. He is loading stuff out. And not only that, he is loading stuff out. And I knew that I needed space. And we had this old dining room table in the back that I had stuff sitting on top of, which I didn't really need anymore. So I convinced him. I said, you know what? That would look good in one of your antique booths. So he said, I guess so. So he even bought the table. So he's loading the table out right as the guys pull up with the pinball machine and the Pepsi machine. And it was perfect timing. He came out, they went in, and we got it all set up and got it all in place. So yeah, it was it worked out just perfect. Tracy says, thanks to you, I found the artistry of Josh. Yes, Josh, our good friend, if you check out his channel too. So then I spent the remainder of the afternoon piecing together and trying to remember where all the wires and all the nuts and bolts and everything went on this pinball machine. And I think I got it just about done. So the back glass is in, it powers on. It doesn't go though. It doesn't it powers on, but it doesn't do anything fun. It just sits there. But that could be because there's no pinballs in it. And sometimes actually, that's a good point. A pinball machine sometimes will not work unless it registers that the pinball is in their for play mode. So it's probably not doing anything because there's no pinball in it.
You're solving your own problem.
That's right. Now I need to go back to the store and try it out and see if I actually fix it. But my friend Jim is coming and he's going to have a look at it tomorrow.
Tracy said, thanks to you, I found the artistry of Josh.
Yes, I caught that one.
Oh, yeah. Did you see it?
Yeah.
Oh. I read it twice.
So this was my day. A flat tire first thing in the morning. If you think that this job is easy, I don't know. It's fun, but moving pinball machines, moving Pepsi machines, getting stuff set up, cleaning, organizing. I got the Picasso prints back from the framing shop, so those are at the store, and it has just been go, 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 go. And so now we're home, getting the remainder of the stuff over to the auction house and preparing for this other final sale. I will be happy not to have to look at jewelry or do auction lists for a while. I just really need to relax a bit.
Yeah, because there's a lot.
Kaiser Skippy says, any update on the tandem bike? Yeah, the tandem bike, the guy said he couldn't fix it. And so I kind of gave, here's the thing. He said the wheels were frozen, like you couldn't pedal it. And we took it into a machine shop out in his area, and he said it was gonna be like $3,000 or $4,000 to free it up. I'm like, forget it. I'm not spending that much money on it. But as I am selling it to a friend of mine for peanuts, by the way, I sold it for just a few $100, a very rare bike. As we're moving it, one of the pedals bumps into the door, and guess what? Freed up, the pedals start pedaling. I'm like, why would they quote $4,000 when all it took was a slight bump to make the pedals work again? So I was like, no, but a deal's a deal. So I was like, well, lucky for you that thing is freed up now. So anyway, a friend of mine has that tandem bike. Don't know what he's going to do with it. So hopefully he'll do something. It's a pretty cool thing.
Marie said, I bought Madame Rack's funny looking pottery dogs. I wanted the other smaller figurines, but couldn't find them in any of the boxes. Any chance they're in the back of the ambulance?
No, I don't believe so. I don't know. Actually, there are a few mystery boxes from the house that are still there. But that's so somebody said, sounds like the guy was trying to take you for a ride, which I think is a bicycle joke. But that's the thing. If somebody quotes me a crazy price, I'm not dumb. I'm not going to say, oh, let's go ahead and do that. So I basically, I said, no, that doesn't make any sense. I said the bike is worth $3,500 restored, and you're saying it's $5,000 to fix just to get the pedals going before anything's done. So didn't make any sense.
So with any of the sales from the auction, as soon as it leaves our hands and goes to the auction, then it's only the auction's responsibility at that point.
Yeah.
They take care of the shipping,
the auction is the seller of, when you consign something as a consignor to an auction, it's the auction house that deals with everything.
Somebody was asking if their angel sent, but...
Oh, the angel?
Mailed. Oh, did you mail it?
I mailed it. Yeah, it's on its way.
My goodness. I thought it was from the auction.
If you called and ordered something from me in the store in the last week or so, I've shipped everything. It's all on its way. Kathy, thank you so much. Bev Pride says, can you show us framed Picassos and give us a price, Instagram or Facebook, please, and thanks. Yeah, I will. I'm back in the store after the weekend here, so I will get some pictures. They are just basically hanging out there waiting.
AJ's Retro and Vintage said Kastner packs very well. That's good to know.
That is good to know. We have, boys, we had so much stuff that we took down for that auction sale, and I am most nervous that I won't get my investment back on the sports cards, because I invested quite a bit in that stuff, and I don't know where the market's going to be on it. It's anybody's guess, and I'm particularly worried that they don't have the pictures up yet. I guess I shouldn't be complaining to you guys out there in YouTube land, but this is the reality of running the business.
Somebody said that the pictures won't be up until the day of the auction.
Oh, that can't be right, because normally there's pre-bidding. Sport cards are a bit of a gamble, but there was enough good ones in there that I think we should be okay. But right now we'll see how the auction goes, because I need to get a large chunk of my investment back for it to make sense for me. So I'm hoping that the weekend will do that. I'm still nervous, though. It's anybody's guess. This is one of those gambles that I kind of wish I wouldn't have taken.
And said they have pictures up, but you can't bid on it yet.
Yeah, the pictures, I think they're uploading tonight, and I will check with the auction after, but tonight or tomorrow they should be up. Yeah, the cost of adding somebody said you should put a basement in your new addition. The cost of putting a basement in would have been very pricey, so we are not. Oh, somebody said we're not planning. Here's my plaid. Well, it's as close as plaid as it gets. There we go.
Plus, we kind of are under the same mindset to only have enough stuff for the space that you have, so we don't have storage lockers or any extra storage anywhere.
Yeah.
On purpose, because then we'll just fill it. So
we are. Yeah, that's one thing. Melissa and I. Everybody asks, like, do you have storage? Do you have storage? We don't believe in storage because if you have to store your stuff, you probably don't need that stuff. And frankly, having the store the size that we have. Keeps me motivated to get stuff out the door. If I had a really big warehouse space, I can only imagine how much stuff would pile up in there.
Plus, every day that you're paying rent on that warehouse space is adding to what you spent on those items. So eventually it doesn't make it worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, some people make a living that way, but it's just too risky, I think.
I have bought warehouses full of people's storage and I recognize the error of their ways. So I'm not, keep your expenses down. If you got, from a business perspective, and I don't know how many of you guys out there have your own businesses or have any thoughts towards that, but if there's anything I've learned managing other people's stores before I came over to doing my own is that you have to keep your margins tight. You have to make sure that you are giving yourself enough margin for, Marge says the auction says preview is online, day of auction. Okay, well, we'll check and see with Kastner. You have to have your margins set. You can sell really interesting things out of a smaller space so you don't pay as much for square footage. And then if you have a slightly smaller business, then you also don't have the same kind of expenses like for heat, power, etc. It doesn't eat up as much. If you can buy a property, always buy if you can, because otherwise you're just paying more than your mortgage payment for somebody else's rent. You're paying somebody else's mortgage. Why not put money in equity for yourself? And yeah, don't store things if you don't have to. That's why we had this arrangement with the auction house that if we end up, Melissa's getting the tease, that when we have big things come in where we could use storage, the auction actually set aside room for us to store it with them until it's sold, and then it's generally sold within a week or two. So it works out really well for us, but that's our business plan anyway. Whether that works for somebody else or not, I don't know. Brenda Black, thank you so much for the super chat.
Somebody said if the basement doesn't work out, that we could just do it as an Airbnb.
Oh, Airbnb.
Do it as a dungeon.
Airbnb basement. Yeah. I don't think cozy. I like how realtors always give kind of I remember there was a Simpsons episode where she's like, it's cramped, and he's like, it's cozy. Like that realtors always have a nicer way of saying something about a horrible space.
Your creative touch.
Yeah. It needs total renovation. It's got character. So I don't know what we'd say if we had an Airbnb in the basement, but
it smells like dirt.
So we are just basically all the things that are going on right now. This is what's happening in my world. Auction on Saturday. Preparing for another Musician's House jewelry auction coming up. Rolls Royce in the shop getting fixed. We have preparing to put up a building, running the store on a daily basis, then answering messages, shipping out parcels. I couldn't add one more thing onto my list. There is no more room on my list of things every single day to do.
You say that, but we know that you're gonna.
I still have to be a dad too, and I still have to be a husband at some point. This is like Melissa finds some things out here on these live chats. We had somebody showing interest in purchasing our other building today, and we're just kind of waiting to see if an offer comes through. And she's like, well, you're going to tell them on the live chat, and you weren't going to tell me. I was like, right, I forgot to tell my wife this stuff, because our worlds are just so busy right now. I did want to thank, I don't know if you guys will tune in or not. In the last week or so, we've had wonderful little things show up at the store that were sent by viewers. We had an old leather bomber jacket that somebody sent in, and they said it was like a belated birthday present for me. It was really nice. It was actually made in Winnipeg, so Canadian. And I looked to see they weren't in Canada, but thank you for that. And the cards, somebody sent us some masks that were hand stitched. I mean, you folks out there are just wonderful. And
those masks are actually, is that the one that they made for all of us?
Yeah, it was a really kind gesture. But we've had all sorts of wonderful things come through, and I just want you to know that if I haven't had a chance to write you back or to email you back, I'm very appreciative when you guys show that that kindness towards our family. So thank you for that. Wink bottle came to Bob. Yes, he got his bottle. Received a ruby ring for our 40th anniversary. Well, that's pretty cool. Yes, my mom enjoyed. I didn't. So here's the thing. Somebody says it's nice to see your cough is gone. I'm telling you, going to those hoarder house type situations are not great for your health. There was a question that was asked, did your mom enjoy the Chatty Cathy? On the last episode I posted, a viewer, Lauren, one of our longtime viewers, had dug the Chatty Cathy they had out of their basement or out of their area and sent it because my mom had one when she was a little girl and she has not seen hers since. So she sent it as a gift for my mom, which was really sweet. It doesn't work though. She goes, as you pull the string and it's like this.
Well, at least she has the box like that's going.
It has the voice box.
Yeah.
It's like the Beatles' White Album. If you play it backwards, it says something. Take me to your leader.
Oh, you said that just when I was reading. Carol said doll was just a little creepy going over to your mom's.
Oh, yeah.
Right, but I was reading that right when you said take me to your leader.
No, my mom, I surprised her. I did the little thing where I walked it down the hallway and I knocked on the door. My mom answered and she goes, "You are not putting me on camera. I don't have any makeup on. This is not happening." So I got mummed by my mom. This happens to YouTubers, guys. Sometimes your mom says, "Nuh-uh." And if you're a good kid, you listen. So I didn't put my mom on camera because she said, and I don't want to get in trouble with my mom. So I just showed it proudly on display in her house. I caught her on her lunch break. I didn't want to warn her because then she'd know the gig was up. She knew what it was all about. So anyway, my mom gave me what for, and I listened because I want to keep that good relationship we got going on.
Chewy ends up going upstairs after like 7 o'clock, and he just lays on the couch up there unless I call him. But I didn't put him outside.
Oh, Chewy's not.
He's
right
fine.
now.
He's probably loafing upstairs on the couch with the kids.
So let's see. Rudy's asking about taxes in Canada. I don't know. If you have a business, it's not so bad. If you have a good accountant, it's not even bad at all. So you got to pay taxes for stuff. I mean, I drive on all these roads and I use all these city services and services around here. So I don't mind paying the taxes we have to pay. Be a good citizen. But yeah, you just get yourself a good accountant if you're worried about your taxes.
Tim said, does Alex still have dreams of being a tap dancer?
I didn't think I had. No, I didn't have dreams about being a tap dancer. When I was a kid, for whatever reason, my dad and I used to watch we used to watch like old W.C. Fields movies and stuff like that. And I was like, that Charlie McCarthy's a snappy dresser. Is the puppet. And so I was like, ooh, a monocle and a top hat. As a kid, I'm like, I want a monocle and spats and a top hat. That looks fancy. And then there was that song Putting on the Ritz back in the 80s. It was a big thing. It was Taco, I think, was the band that did that. I don't know where this is coming from. So yeah, I didn't I wanted to have a fancy suit when I was a kid, oddly. That was on my list. That was on my bucket list. Top hat and spats and the whole thing.
Jennifer wants to know, were you on Canadian Idol?
I worked on Canadian Idol. I wasn't on Canadian Idol. I watched other people sing, and I didn't actually start singing myself until like a few years ago. So
I worked 1 day or 2 days on Canadian Idol.
You worked more than a couple days.
Was it?
Yeah.
That was only like 2 days. I was pregnant with one of the kids.
Melissa was okay. This isn't a priest thing. I'm wearing a sweater.
I said that to him too.
There.
I said it
better?
looks like you're a priest when I walked out.
There.
I saw everybody saying it wasn't just me.
Somebody said I'd look like Mr. Peanut. Yes, but then I could never visit my kids' schools because it's a peanut-free environment.
Oh, that was bad.
Yeah, Mr. Peanut cannot visit his children in school. No, I say.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's right. Somewhere there's going to be a cartoon drawn of Mr. Peanut sadly being told it's a peanut-free zone.
Was it Jason that I was pregnant with? Oh yeah, it must have been Jason. So that means that you worked Canadian Idol in 2005.
Yeah, it was a while ago. Yeah. Yeah. So no, apparently I wanted to dress like Mr. Peanut when I was a kid.
Oh no, 2006.
Francie, thank you so much. So yeah, I'm just trying to get myself, I'm reading the comments, but also trying to keep myself back on track here. So this is what's happening this week. Auction is happening this Saturday, and boy, I have no idea how it's going to go. I don't even know if I'm going to watch. I don't know if I can watch. I want to, you know, of all the things I want, of all the things that I want to have happen this year, the only thing that I really care about is for it to be a sunny day, for me to be at like the park with my kids and to be playing catch. I just want to play catch with my kids. Maybe pitch a few balls and play some baseball with them. I just want to play some. I just want to have fun with my kids. So instead of watching the auction or doing a live feed for the auction on Saturday, I will likely be taking my kids to go tobogganing or sledding.
Especially now that it's nice again.
It's nice again.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be a dad and I'm going to do fun stuff with the family. I need more of that in my life right now.
And I'm not cold because I have heat in my house.
Yeah. No, it's, people always say, Melissa, how can you wear those shirts? Aren't you freezing? It's minus 40 outside.
That time that we had the live feed and I was wearing a sweater, it was like minus 40. I was too cold, even with the heat.
Central American artifacts are still at the store.
You missed you guys are awesome.
Yeah, I reached out to the Mexican government to see if they had any interest in that stuff, because sometimes they do want to reclaim it. Never heard back. So I'll probably think about finding a way to sell that stuff in the near future.
It says, surprised to hear Melissa's mom is a Steelers fan.
Oh,
My mom and I would be surprised too.
Somebody was saying the auction's Sunday, not Saturday. I think you're absolutely right. So I don't think I'll do a live feed Sunday either. I just really want time with the family this weekend. All I've been doing is just preparing stuff for the auction this last little bit. So we try and take time out every single day to do things with the kids. But it's been just absolutely crazy.
So my mom is not a Steelers fan. In fact, our family isn't really a sports anything fan. But
no, my brother was huge into sports.
But who is a Steelers fan?
Dorian.
Yeah, Dorian's the Steelers
My
fan.
brother-in-law, yeah. Dorian, is a huge Steelers fan. And I ended up getting that Steelers toaster, and it burns the Steelers logo into your toast. I was like, the lady brought it in. I didn't want it for the store. I wanted it for Dorian. So I have to figure out how to get him. I'll just put it in the mail, I guess. But my sister's going to be like, all of our toast has stupid Steelers stuff on it now. I don't even know if she's a Steelers fan or not. But she's going to be like, I don't have enough Steelers stuff around. This is, okay. I just met my sister. And the second time I got down there, we kind of only met a little bit beforehand. But she said, stay at my house. So they have a guest room at their place. And I go in the guest room, and it's it's obvious what his team is, because every square inch of the wall is covered in Steelers stuff. I mean, jerseys, pictures, lampshades, curtains, pillowcases, blanket, everything is Pittsburgh Steelers. Cindy Red here says supposed to be in the South. Yes, it's going to be nice this weekend. So anyway, I go to Heather's place. Everything is Steelers. And so in the morning, I'm like, Dorian, what's your favorite football team? You see all that Pittsburgh stuff in the room? Because you got to mess with now that they're family, you got to mess with them a little bit. So anyway, she's always like, anytime I find Steelers stuff, she's like, he doesn't need any more Steelers stuff. Heather doesn't like clutter, doesn't like stuff around. She has a very tidy house, minimalist. And it drives her nuts, all the Steelers stuff in that room. And so what did I do? I went out and bought her a Steelers toaster. It's coming your way, Heather. I'm going to send you a Steelers toaster. And she's going to be like, every time she butters it, she's going to be like, even my bread is stupid Steelers. I can just see it right now. It's worth it just for that. And Lauren says, I saw the book I sent you on your video the other day. So glad there was something you liked. Oh, yes. Thank you so much, Ann. I haven't had a chance to get back individually to everybody early on the live feed. I want to thank folks. But yes, thank you so much for all that. Steeler Nation, he's big into Steelers. So now we'll have I picked up a Steelers toaster for him. Serendipity by Melanie says, you make me feel like part of your family. Sure, others feel the same. Thank you. It's our pleasure. And we're so glad that you're a part of our YouTube family and community here too. So yeah, got to be a little pesty brother and pest my big sister now and again. Yes, thank you. The auction is on Sunday. I made a mistake. The auction's Sunday. So I guess if they get the pictures up tonight or tomorrow, there should still be a couple days of pre-bidding, hopefully, before that happens. We need a vacation, like I'm sure everybody needs a vacation. But the nice thing for us is that come summertime, there's lots of beautiful places to go in our area. We have the Rocky Mountains within driving distance, which is just stellar. Beautiful, on their untamed mountains from sea to, well, it's not sea to shining sea because it just kind of goes down the coast, but from coast, not even coast to coast. It's a big pile of hills, and you gotta go check it out. Anyway, the Rocky Mountains are right nearby. I don't know where I was going with that. I don't know who I was. I was an explorer first, and then I started to kind of go like hey laddie, go over the glen and find yourself some mountain ranges.
Did you try your tea?
No, I didn't try my tea yet.
You have to guess.
I have sensitive lips.
Guess
This
what
has burnt me.
I put cold water in it. I'm drinking mine straight hot. See, look at you go. What is it?
Tastes like rose or flowers or something.
It's flowers. What kind of flowers?
I don't. Hibiscus?
Nope.
What?
Lavender and chamomile.
She's feeding me flowers.
True. He would just be drinking it, but it was really dust. Like the tiny little bits are still in there.
Yeah. So anyway, we have the Rocky Mountains not too far.
It's like how many hours? 2 hours from here? 3
No,
hours?
3 hours from our house are the Rocky Mountains, and there's beautiful lakes. There's a ton of lakes around here. Lots of nice sandy beaches. You wouldn't think of like landlocked Alberta, but there's so many lakes around. Thank you, Ice Age, for leaving your puddles behind. We've got all these Ice Age puddles kicking around. We made these beautiful lakes all over the place. So we've got lots to do, even without being able to go visit tropical locations.
Cindy said beautiful Red Deer is just at 1.5 hours south of
Actually,
here.
Sylvan Lake is right by Red Deer, so we could make a trip out that way.
It's hard right now, though, because then there's not really anywhere that we can stop with kids.
Yeah, it's nice when we go. We usually go to Wabamun, which is only 45 minutes from here, so you go out there and have a nice day at the beach, and then you can come home within a reasonable amount of time.
She said, my daughter said, hey, that guy's from How to Train Your Dragon.
Curiosity. Good evening, Alexander and Melissa. I do hope all is well with you guys. Thank you, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
All is well. Serendipity spent $8,000 on our stuff. Wow. Well, maybe she'll find some other stuff at the next sale too.
Hopefully she does well too. She has an Etsy, if you guys haven't seen it, under the same name, Serendipity by Melanie. And then you can have a chance. If there were items that you missed in the auction, she might have it on that.
It's kind of crazy that now there's YouTube channels that do unboxings of stuff they bought from our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I had this lady came in, and sometimes people just walk in the store and they've got their camera and they're like, bam, like filming right away. I am at Curiosity and there's Alex right there. And I'm like, because you're not expecting somebody just to be randomly filming you. And I guess, as long as they're painting it in an okay light, I don't mind it because it's some form of advertising. But sometimes it catches you off guard a little bit. Just like that was karma for what I did to my mom. I got my mom. I tried to surprise her with the chatty Cathy, and she's like, nah, put me on camera without my makeup on. So I'm like, okay, mom. So I didn't. And people come in the store and I like hadn't shaved or didn't have my hair did. Didn't look very nice, and you're like, well, I guess this is happening.
I can't imagine you not looking good when you were at the store. So,
Aww.
It's true. We all know the truth.
But I've been burning the candle at both ends. Look at these circles in my eyes. I'm gonna have to just start. Well, I'm gonna be like one of these guys that just wears sunglasses all the time. I'm gonna get myself some Roy Orbison sunglasses, and I'll just.
What was it?
You're looking for something in particular?
Oh my gosh.
I don't know, because I imagine they'd be like senior citizen cataract glasses, and maybe I'll get those. Welcome to Curiosity Incorporated. You just look all around. Try not to take nothing, because we like it when people pay for things. Yeah. Anyway. So I probably won't be wearing sunglasses, but I gotta do something about it. So Kathy says, you sent me $2 to say, go to Rocky Mountains and sing John Denver songs. Yeah, well, John Denver, oddly, of course, Denver, Colorado, there is a possibility of Rocky Mountain High out there. He was a prognosticator. He could see into the future and see what was happening. But no, the mountain ranges here are, I don't know. The most similar mountain range we've seen would probably be like the Swiss Alps, maybe.
Well, I remember seeing cows on the side of the mountain.
Okay, but our mountains are kind of like the Swiss Alps. They're big and majestic, except people live in Switzerland on the side of the hills.
Yeah, they're just high mountains. They're not rolling mountains. It's like crazy high, jagged rocks. And with snow on the top.
They've bred cows, I'm sure, that have 2 short legs on the left and 2 long ones on the right, so they don't fall off the cliff. Somehow they farm the sides of those mountains. Ours are just like, they're like, nah, you can't do nothing out there. It's just a bunch of mountains. But it's pretty to go look at, though. Nice. There's a couple towns, Banff and Jasper.
Quiet Pass says, I saw a Pickle Rick shirt by another YouTuber Alex, Melissa, you two are popular.
Huh. Well, Pickle Rick was,
yeah.
Josh mentioned Pickle Rick because that came from a show called Rick and Morty. And so we had the pickle guy, and he called him Pickle Rick because Josh likes watching Rick and
I
Morty.
completely forgot about that.
Yeah, so if you see Pickle Rick stuff, most often it's actually Rick and Morty stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not making fun of Roy Orbison. I said I would be wearing large Roy Orbison style sunglasses. I'm not saying that's how Roy Orbison would act. Roy Orbison was just cool. In fact, my dad was a big fan of his even when he was in the Traveling Wilburys and later on in life too. Incredible voice. So don't get all mad at me because you misinterpreted the situation. Don't be all like YouTube hater on me. That's right. Don't be all like that. So I would be the worst travel guide though. There's a big pile of hills. And there's not, I don't know, there's some stuff. You should go see the stuff in the hill. I can't. This is why.
Oh, I forgot about Mike from Canmore.
I have to say this better. A short 3-hour drive from here, you can visit the majestic Rocky Mountains, where you'll see a shelf with pristine glacial fields and beautiful aqua blue lakes that seem to be endless. Trees unspoiled by man. Animals, no. Mountain goats will cross in front of your car as you pass. You might see the occasional bear by the side of the road. You will feel as though you've been immersed in nature that is untouched and unspoiled by man and all of his disastrous ways. It is a splendorous place to go. If you want to feel as though you are visiting the earth in all of its splendor, you should visit the Rocky Mountains of Canada. And you should stop at one of the gift shops out there and buy rock candy and toffee and stuff, because that's what you do when you go to the mountains.
I don't think I've ever done that when I went to the mountains.
I used to do it all the time when I went to the mountains.
You know what I did when I went to the mountains? I went to those little gift shops and I get like the little crystal boxes that you could open up and there'd be like a little piece of sparkly quartz or fool's gold. That was me.
You look, Moline Lake is beautiful.
Yeah.
Johnston Canyon, stunning. It is actually quite an amazing place.
We're advertising for somewhere that unless you're here already, you can't go to.
Yeah, we're just here to wet your whistle, so when you can cross that border, you're gonna come visit us.
The dinosaurs and Drumheller.
Yeah. Anyway, there's lots to see and lots to do. The Elks, lots to do. Greetings from Colorado. Will the sports card be individual or by group? Both. There's some individual and some by the group, and I think they're starting everything. I think $10 a piece. There are complete sets of like 1960s football cards and stuff that are going up for $10 for the whole set. Partial sets of 60s cards, 70s cards. So there's a ton of stuff going up. Anyway.
Do you mean taffy or do they sell toffee? Well, I don't know.
Toffee. Taffy's toffee. I told when my cousins were living on the coast, I said they should open up a shop and call it She Sells Seashells by the seashore, because they could actually collect shells and...
We saw something at East Coast.
I don't remember that.
Oh.
I don't remember it.
That's where he's thinking this. He's making it up in his mind because he saw it before.
Yeah, toffee's like caramel and taffy is any kind of stretched, gooey, sticky, sugary stuff. For those of you, I'm gonna paint a verbal picture of Edmonton for. I should do a what Edmonton is like video one of these days. Come
it would be better
spring or summer.
We can actually show.
But there's even lots to do when it's not.
Yeah.
You know, we find lots of family stuff to do. There's lots of great places to go shopping and all that. But normally there's the world's largest shopping mall. Not that fantastic right now since a lot of stuff is closed down. We went there the other day. I went there to go to the Lego store for the kids. They made a James Bond Lego car and that had to come home. I had to get something for myself. Anyway, so they have a big giant Lego store there now. And we walked past, normally there's a huge water park. It's the biggest water park that I think exists inside of a North American mall, perhaps. I don't know. That's probably a short list. But if there's a list of shopping mall water parks, it's up there. They had drained all the water out of it. So it's like an intertwined mess of all these different sorts of water slides and swimming pools and stuff. And normally, when there's not pandemics happening, it's a happening place where it looks like, even in the middle of winter, it looks tropical in there. And we would take the kids there on occasion and just kind of spend the day, and they'd go shooting around on the water slides. But the funny thing is, here's the thing about the water park that I don't get. When you go to the water park, when you can go there again, they offer a couple things. One is strange. All you can drink soda, because there's nothing like being pelted out of a tube into a water pool and being full of soda. That's a weird combination. I can only imagine the sparkling puke that spews out of people when you get shot out of like a cannon of water and you've been drinking like gallons of pop all day. And then when you're like, okay, I've had enough of all this going through water park business. What do you get to eat? Kind of gross hot dogs and gross hamburgers or French fries. And then there's
a wave pool.
And it's a wave pool. And you're like, what? This doesn't feel...
It's an intense wave pool. Like, you actually will be worried when you're at the larger...
But they pick those things because the profit margin's the highest on a hot dog and highest on French fries. And it's comfort food that they'll sell. But here's my suggestion to you, West Edmonton Mall. If you're going to have a tropical themed water park, have some like fresh pineapple or have some tropical themed stuff. No,
with a sharp stick.
Yeah, let's put a skewer in our mouth and go down the water slide. Melissa is no longer in charge of marketing at the water park.
I'm at the restaurant park. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's right. You cannot. Okay, no kebabs. No kebabs at the water park. But they can have... Oh my God. I could just imagine. Oh, so they're like, what's the safe? But hot dog's not really all safe either. You could choke on that pretty easy.
Well, you're not allowed to go running around with your food.
You don't think that some kid is like, and runs off with food in their mouth? You know what kids are like. They do the dumbest things. I love my kids, and I consider my kids very smart. But kids and adults do the dumbest stuff. Of course they would jam a hot dog or eat a hamburger and have a full face and go up and down a water slide. So what I'm saying is, if you're going to sit there and you're going to have that laid back chair in the water park, maybe have some like set the mood.
Yeah.
Be like, I escaped into paradise. There are palm trees and water and people. I don't know, there's no water slides in Hawaii. That'd be random. Yay! Into a shark's mouth. But
right into a shark's mouth. Big Drift says,
it is tea, in fact.
We missed a couple.
Oh, Big Drift says, I moved to Banff in 89, worked at the Springs Hotel in the Grizzly House Fondue restaurant. I miss it. Now I reside in Alaska. Love your channel. Thank you.
There was another one.
There is a good fondue place out there, too.
Oh, yeah.
I got that one. So, anyway.
Then Cindy wrote, last time I was at West Ed, they had the subs. Oh, yeah, me too. Last time I was there.
They used to have submarines there, too. Hello from New Zealand, a snack for Chewy. Thank you. Zooey Peak is my favorite city. My brother Steven works there. So anyway, I guess the moral of that story was if you have an opportunity to redesign the menu at the water park, which they should probably do, maybe put some healthy options and some tropical type option, like maybe luau. Maybe they should just bury a pig and exhume its corpse every hey, it's 5 o'clock. We're digging a pig up. Like some kid forgets that there's a pig buried somewhere, and
that's just it. It's a kid running the
I know. Okay, maybe don't take my ideas either. But now we're burying pigs at the water park.
And on the
hey,
other
if you
end,
want that Hawaiian experience, we're gonna full luau. There's gonna be poi. There's gonna be.
Do you remember what
lava flows? Yeah, poi was gross. I'm sorry if you're Hawaiian. Poi was like. Here's mush that doesn't taste like anything.
I usually love stuff like that. They're like, oh, poi is kind of like a sweet potato. And I'm like, sweet potato? Yes, please. Yeah. I took the biggest scoop. It wasn't terrible, but it just had no taste.
Yeah, they had a when we were in Hawaii and we did the luau thing and all that. It was great. I'm pretty sure they don't put alcohol in their alcohol because we had 40 lava flows and there was nothing.
No, there's no way. And I'm not that big. So no. I would have been slathered on the floor. And they keep coming in. No. Alexander got ID'd when we were in Maui. They ID'd him. And then he said, well, do you need her ID? And they say, no, she's fine.
That's because I look like I'm up to something and you look like you're mature.
Can you lie to me at least?
Yeah. I know. Instead of, to give it more of a distinct theme at the water park, instead of water, they should fill it with sour cream. I think that way,
gross.
They could call it Chive and Pete's Chive Shack, and they could just sprinkle chives on the kids as they run by. I don't know. I promise it's tea in here.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway. I'm sure that, but seriously, I think they should have like fresh pineapple and fruits and some nicer options and stuff like that. Hot dog. Who wants to go to a tropical environment? You imagine you go to Hawaii, like, let's say you live somewhere like, I don't know, Michigan. And you're like, I'm going to Hawaii for the first time in my life. And you get to Hawaii and you get on the beach and you imagine, you know, like that waiter in all the movies, it's like, brings you like I don't know, like a necklace made of pineapple and flowers or whatever. But instead he's like, you want a ballpark Frank? And you might think that sounds good, but you're in Hawaii and those things don't need to exist. Like a coconut with a straw is what you need to get. They should have coconuts with straws in it. That's what they should have.
So Jessica said what they meant was, she's fine. See, now I didn't think that.
She's fine.
She's fine.
She's fine. That's right. That's like at the bars where they would have like, they'd let all the girls in for free and then the guys would have to pay cover charge. That was never fair.
Marie said, Alex, you're such a strange man. Throwing sour cream at kids. Melissa, your face says it all. That's like the story of our life.
She married this on purpose, so who's the weird one here?
It's true. It's still you.
She snagged me.
It's true.
She kept it. The one thing I don't miss about the bar in the 90s, well, going to a bar at all, I don't miss that. No. But is if you were on the dance floor, and yes, I have been on a dance floor, and somebody would bump into you with their cigarette in their hand. Remember when people did that and they smoked in the bar? Well, you can't smoke in bars here, but you'd be like, yay! And then somebody'd be like, yay! With their cigarette, and they'd like scorch your arm. Ah! Why? And there's no looking cool, and you've just been burnt by somebody's cigarette. Some girl scalds you with her cigarette. There's no looking cool. Or you get home and you have burn marks on you and stuff. What an awful time that was.
Yeah.
The only thing that made up for it was a smoke machine, so nobody had to see me in my crying face. Smoke slowly filling the room.
Oh,
all they could hear is whimpering in the corner of me covered in burn marks. What's happening?
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, that's it. I'm getting married, getting out of this racket. Because being single is a racket. And I don't envy anybody who's single, because that's a real racket. Oh, I'm glad I've got my lady. She's looking like she's second guessing her. She's like, oh, I'm glad that you're glad. At least she's like, that's good. Good for you. You're glad.
Good for you.
I'm happy for you.
Sergeant Red said, hey, now Michigan beats Hawaii. We're sophisticated.
Yeah. Hey, I am, my ancestors were from the Michigan area. I've mentioned that before. Not for long. I don't know what my great-great-great-great-grandpa did to annoy somebody. Probably the fact that he was a proud British citizen right after after the Revolutionary War. And he was probably in the bar and just being like, you know, the king is ruler above all. And they're probably like, you know what? We're not taking this from you. And so he died at a young age. And of course on his headstone it said, proud British citizen. I will find a picture of that. And I'm like, well. And he was a school teacher too, so I can only imagine, like, were you teaching our kids about the king and how great he was? Why, yes, the king was grand, wasn't he? They'd be like, we're not having any of that. So, yeah, it's not good. And it wasn't during, like, the Civil War or anything like that. It was like, no, there was no major battle happening at that time, so he probably just annoyed somebody. I could see, I don't know where I got this from.
What is that? Wait, I wonder if I brought the wrapper.
Yeah, we're live right now for whoever's asking. And I was going to be...
Is this live? Why can't I fast forward?
Yeah. They're talking off a lot. I keep trying to fast forward this video. Matthew Fox, I do have a Civil War wound because I dropped a Civil War gun on my foot.
Wasn't that Matthew that came out that joked around about or said that in the first place?
I'm one of the last people to have a Civil War wound. I'm sure, except all those reenactors probably get it, you know. And Matthew, you do reenacting, don't you? I think I saw that Matthew Fox is a Civil War reenactor. If you get injured on the battlefield, it still kind of counts.
So the tea that we're drinking is called Sacred Earth Healing Arts is the company. I don't know if you can even see that. I'm going to go across. I think she's out of BC, and it's the common relaxed herbal tea, peppermint, lavender, and chamomile. It
feels like it's good. It tastes like it's healing something in me.
But it feels like, you know, it's nice and relaxing, like you're giving yourself some kind of treat.
Yeah. We have, Melissa and I celebrated on Valentine's Day our 25th year of being a couple. 25 years.
Since we started dating. We were married May 5th, but we started dating on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. I know, 25
right,
years.
Chamomile.
Yeah.
Catherine. I thought for sure if I brought the wrapper, you'd believe us.
Kat says they do medieval reenactments. But have you ever been on your way to a reenactment? This is what you're on your way and you're like dressed up as, I don't know, like a knight or Confederate soldier or both in the same car. Even better, you're carpooling to reenactment places, and your car, like, you have to stop somewhere and like run into a 7-Eleven to grab, like, you know, some nachos or something. I would love to see that security camera, you know, and like General Lee and, you know, Sir Lancelot walk in looking for like the nacho platter at the 7-Eleven. It's like that time that I was sitting at the lights by West Edmonton Mall and saw a clown in full-on clown gear slide through the intersection.
With you for that.
Were you with me for that? Yeah, they slid through the intersection and had a surprised, scared-looking clown face, which was both their makeup. The makeup that clown chose was the surprise, like, ah! But then they actually were making that face. It was the most hilarious thing to see.
As he slid through the intersection.
Slid through a red light with clown makeup gear on.
And like the...
What do you look at this clown?
Oh my goodness.
Do you imagine if they crashed and you had to get out and take their information without laughing?
That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
That is, and I know, hey, we have people who are professional clowns that watch this. I will admit that I'm not a huge fan of clowns, not because they scare me or anything like that. I just don't like when people are, well, here I am I'm entertaining or trying to. I'm a bit of a clown sometimes. What I'm doing. But I would laugh in that situation. If a clown like slid through an intersection and rear-ended me and he got out and he's like, and had the sad clown face on, I'd be like, okay, this is a funny clown situation right here. But any other situation that's not ironic is just kind of pushing the limits for me too much. But yeah, anyway, that was a thing.
Oh.
Yeah. Did you say you had Polish heritage? My great-great-grandfather's Polish, moved to Britain when I was born. Yeah, my grandfather was born in Poland, but they said they were Russian. And the thing is, Russian people moved all over the place, and Melissa's family lived in Russia too, but they were in fact Swedish and
Polish
and German and like, that's the thing. European folks had a tendency to move around, and sometimes they stayed put and their borders moved around on them. So you could be Russian, Polish, German all within the same lifespan almost.
Yeah.
So
I think both of us have like very European roots.
Yeah. My dad's side, my family name is English. So the Archbold family, and not Archibald, the Archbold family comes, we hail from Northumberland, sir. We hail from Newcastle upon Tyne. That's where our homeland is in England. However, when I did the DNA test, I found out that I'm pretty much 80% European. So I'm mostly Russian, Ukrainian, all of my mom's side of stuff. So I got a big dose of my mom's DNA and a small little dibble-dabble of my dad in there. Yeah, that happened. And Heather, I think, is pretty much all English because her mom was English and my dad was English. So she's pretty much English. But yeah, funny.
I used to have a Polish calculator. It was a pencil that you plugged in.
So we are, somebody said their German French receipts. My family is, your family tree sprite is from Alsace. My great-grandmother is from Alsace. So there you go. Maybe we have some family. Maybe there's some connection there. Do your DNA thing and you'll find out if we're related. Because my grandma Hazel, her mom was from Alsace, France. I don't know what her maiden name was, though. I should find that out. I don't know what that is. Oh, well. I know what a maiden name is. I don't know what her maiden name is. But I understand the concept of maiden names.
Were you driving the Ghostbuster ambulance? I don't think we had the ambulance at that point when we saw the clown.
No. Trust me, I already think that when I drive that Ghostbuster car around that people think that I'm probably nuts as it is. But people also honk like crazy. And this is the thing. For the last few years, we were a YouTube channel to people all over the place, but not necessarily to people in Edmonton.
Yeah.
So we were very anonymous and did not really ever have people that came in the store that watch us on YouTube.
We could go like anywhere else. It was bizarre. So we weren't used to it either. We went to like PEI and all these people recognized us, but not here in Edmonton. But now, not so much. Now it's a little different.
Somebody saw a car go by that said Dracula, and then they had a tinted windows and the sticker said undead on board.
Nice.
They must have had autopilot on. Oh, they're undead, so they can still operate a vehicle, I guess. It's not like they're dead. Yeah, so I know that when I'm driving that car around, but now people honk and they wave and they recognize us maybe from the YouTube channel, and driving that car definitely gets a lot of attention. And it's awesome,
like how many people, like regardless, even if they didn't see the YouTube channel, it's just like driving an old car. people wave and stop. And
Yeah, I seriously would have probably... There would have been a good chance that if that Oscar Mayer Wienermobile was actually for sale, somebody put a prank up and...
It was the first thing he did after that live is
I
went
phoned
to
to
go
ask
look
if
for
it was available.
Yeah, and it
Oscar
was
Mayer Wienermobile. I'm like, this is where my brain is. So when people come into my store and they're like, yeah, I got like a 76 Plymouth I'd like to sell. I'm like, man. Somebody says, I've got the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile I'd like to sell. I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's go check that out. I like weird, quirky stuff. So I phoned and the guy was like, it then made the news. Somebody was mad at him. And so they posted a picture of the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile and posted this guy's phone number and said, must sell, was left in my storage yard, it's gotta go. And so the guy's like, yeah, he pranked me pretty good. It was like a little online seller's revenge over something, and the guy ended up having a flood of phone calls for the Wienermobile. Yeah.
That's quite the revenge.
Sherry.
The whiteout's here too in Hawaii. The gardenias are blooming in my yard. One freezing winter made me move out here 41 years ago.
We love Hawaii. It's just pretty far away from all the people that we care about.
Well, we wouldn't move, but we would escape.
That's the thing about being, where your family is that your home is where your family is, and your home might be cold and you might freeze to death. But there are certainly, you can't put I don't know. We have thought about moving somewhere warmer, but the thought keeps fading every time we think about not being able to see the ones we love. Red had said someone recognized her from our 8,000 sub channel the other day. If you get a ton of people recognize you with 300, no, I don't feel that we get a lot. I mean, I have people come in the store that know me from YouTube and stuff. Quite a bit lately.
Yeah,
especially.
at the store is different because like it has the same name but nobody recognized. My parents from my preschool only found out recently that we have a YouTube channel. And I've been teaching that preschool for 5 years. So
Melissa keeps things on the down low.
I like to keep things very separate. And I mean, not only for the protection of them, like I don't care so much if people know where I am, but I have other people's children. So
Melissa's very safe about that.
Yeah.
When we used to have the other store, very rarely would somebody come in, but now lately we've had lots of folks come in, and we have, as you guys probably know, if you've been watching this series, right at the end of the street from our store is an elementary school. And now the kids at the school found out that the guy with the candy shop at the end of the street has a YouTube, and I'm not an antique store to them, I'm the candy shop. They found out the guy with the candy shop at the end of the street has a YouTube channel. So now I've got all these little kids maybe they're watching now. If you are watching, hello kids.
And they're not so little.
Don't worry, we won't throw chives at you when you come in the store. And they're not gonna fill the water park with sour cream. I don't know. Don't know where my head went with that. Maybe I feel like a baked potato. Maybe I'm craving a baked potato.
Somebody said you must be hungry.
I don't know. I have been, this is now day 4 of trying to avoid carbs again. I got to start being better about stuff. So I've been really good, and I've not, not gone into the cookie jar, so to speak. So I have to stay good. I have a target anyway. So yeah, maybe I'm craving baked potatoes, but not with children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seattle has a tow truck. TOE.
A tow truck. I always wonder what they do with those Red Bull minis that you see driving around with the Red Bull sample people. What do they do when they sell the Red Bull mini? Because it has a big old Red Bull can on the back. Yeah.
John said, Melissa, get that man a potato. And Bob said, you need some northern chicken. I made
northern chicken.
I made butter chicken for supper tonight, but not with chicken. I used paneer instead. And Alexander thought he was eating chicken that whole time. And he's like, this is cheese? The whole plate of like...
Oh, I don't know. I just thought it was really tender chicken. It was covered in stuff though, so it's hard to tell. Yeah. Yeah. So this is...
Well, I've never bought paneer before, so to be fair, I've only ever made it with chicken here.
We've started talking about food and potatoes now.
Now they want a loaded potato, Jeannie.
And now I want to be a lazy spud. Why are our kids still doing awake? Kids, you need to go brush your teeth.
Paneer, yay.
Our kids will not govern themselves if they're left unattended. I've noticed that. They will push the boundaries. Like midnight would come around and you'd be like, what are you still doing up? Oh, it's what? Midnight? What's a clock? What's time? I have no concept of this time you speak of.
Northern Chicken is a fried chicken place that we have here in Edmonton.
Really
and
good,
it's
yeah.
amazing. It's so delicious.
The best fried chicken I think we've got in town, and
But
probably
we haven't tried everything. Like I want to do a series where I actually do try different places around Edmonton
But if you have a restaurant in Edmonton and you think you make better fried chicken than Northern Chicken, you can send us some chicken and we'll sample it.
yeah, maybe.
Please make sure it's not a live chicken.
Or like really old.
What, like a
mail, in the mail.
Would it have glasses at the end of its nose? Is that how you know it's an old chicken?
No, I mean like Canada Post.
Yeah. So far everything this year has been going as planned. I mentioned it before that last year I had this vision of what I wanted this year to look like, and beside myself with joy, in fact, that we're going to be hitting all these targets we set for ourselves. Oh, I hope you guys keep setting targets for yourselves for this year too. And even though this is not the best economy and this is not the best time, these are the times when you have to be creative and push yourself the hardest. And I'm vowing to push myself as hard as I can this year to try and be as successful as possible and to try and set my family up for success. So regardless, I don't care what they tell me about the economy. I don't care what they tell me about the pandemic. We're going to be having a great 2021. And we're gonna make this the best year ever. So construction will start in a couple months. You have to stick around for those videos. In the meantime, we've got some auctions and I've got more picks to go on, and we'll keep posting our usual sort of unboxing pictures and all that. But for all of you out there, guys, I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you for chatting with us, and as goofy as things get, appreciate you guys sticking around. So have a wonderful evening and a wonderful afternoon, and wherever you are, I hope it's wonderful. We'll see you guys soon, and bye for now, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Bye, guys.